The scream before the storm. In the mid-1800s, the Great Plains witnessed one of the most ruthless devastations in human history. The white man was surging westward, carrying with him the smoke of factories and the stench of gunpowder. Their goal was simple: to seize the lands that ancient tribes had held sacred for 1,000 years, and to wipe this wild paradise off the map. The American army was an unstoppable, merciless machine. Tipis were burned to ash, sacred grounds were trampled, and the great, wise chiefs of the tribes were shackled in chains, one by one. The free spirit of the plains was about to be swallowed by the darkness of history. But there was something the American generals, with all their arrogant maps, failed to foresee. They could never have anticipated a single, invincible power that would one day stand against this entire military might, the rifles and the burning tents. An avenging legend was being born, a man at whom hundreds of bullets would be fired, only to melt away in mid-air, a warrior who would never surrender. This is the story of the last fortress to single-handedly stop the gears of a massive empire, Ovalarin's son Hyaleti. And it all began long before the war cries of the white man, on a freezing winter night, with the birth of a silent child. The year was 1840, and the Lakota people were enduring a harsh winter by the river. As the light-haired boy grew, he became the quietest shadow on the plains. While other Lakota children wrestled and shouted in the dust, he would sit alone on the edge of a cliff, watching the hawks soar into the horizon for hours. While his peers played loud hunting games, he would look into the waters of the riverbeds, trying to understand the mysterious language the wind whispered to the leaves. The elders of the tribe watched his deep, mysterious silence and whispered among themselves around the campfires. The Great Spirit puts the heaviest burdens on the quietest souls. Time moved fast, and the boy turned 14. The white man, whose iron wagons he had only heard from a distance, finally arrived at the gates of the Lakota camp. The year was 1854, and the paradise they called home was about to darken forever. It all started over a stray, crippled cow left behind by traveling migrants near the tribe's land. After a hungry villager killed the animal, an arrogant American lieutenant marched into the camp with 30 heavily armed soldiers. Their goal was not justice. It was to teach the natives a lesson. The young boy hid behind a tipi, his heart pounding hard against his chest as he watched. The American soldiers surrounded Conquering Bear, one of the tribe's most beloved and peaceful chiefs. As the chief tried to offer a peaceful solution, the arrogant lieutenant gave the order, and a brutal gunshot shattered the silence. Chief Conquering Bear was shot right in front of his people, falling backward onto the earth. The light-haired boy watched the chief fall, seeing the sacred soil stained with blood for the first time. The screams of women and the furious cries of warriors filled the camp. Inside the boy, a massive dark storm awoke one he had never felt before. With tears streaming down his dusty cheeks, he leaped onto his horse in a wild rage. Without looking back, he rode away from that bloody chaos, deep into the most desolate heart of the wilderness. In the wake of the Grattan Massacre, young Curly's inner world fell into absolute silence. The brutality he witnessed and the blood spilled had left a deep wound in his soul. To find answers and see the future of his people, he decided to undertake one of the most ancient and perilous rituals of the Lakota, Hanbleceya, the Vision Quest. Alone, far from his tribe, he climbed a sacred rocky hill in the deepest heart of the wilderness. He took neither food nor a single drop of water. For days under the scorching sun and freezing nights, sleepless and starving, he waited for Wakan Tanka, the Great Spirit, to send him a sign. By the end of the third night, just as he was about to lose consciousness from hunger and dehydration, the world around him began to warp. The sky bled into shades of purple and lavender, the rocks melted, and the gates of the spirit world swung open for him. Out of a swirling cloud of dust and smoke, a mysterious warrior emerged, floating as if weightless upon his horse. This warrior looked like no Lakota leader Curly had ever seen. He wore no grand eagle feathers upon his head, nor did his face carry terrifying war paint. Only a small, round sacred stone was tied behind his ear. Suddenly, arrows rained from the sky, and hundreds of bullets fired from enemy rifles. The warrior rode his horse fearlessly, straight into the storm and this rain of death. Yet, something miraculous happened. The bullets and arrows vanished and melted in mid-air before ever touching his flesh. He was clad in an invisible armor of spirits. Bullets could not harm him. But the end of the vision was dark. As the warrior achieved victory, people of his own tribe surrounded him, grabbing him by the arms, pulling him back, trying to bring him down. When Curly opened his eyes, he understood what the Great Spirit had whispered to him. That warrior was himself. He would be invisible to bullets to protect his nation, but his greatest wound would come not from the enemy's rifle, but from the hands of his own people. The prophecy is set. A boy with bulletproof skin, destined to save his people, but doomed to be betrayed by them. In the next episode, the legend of Crazy Horse truly begins.